we doing this evening, ladies and gentlemen? You guys don't know me, my name is Eli Howard, but I'm guessing you do know that because we sold this son of a bitch out tonight. Last year, I've been spending a lot of money, a lot of my time, and a lot of sanity making this album that just dropped at midnight this morning. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. doing this evening? I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing about the same. If you guys don't know me, my name is Eli Howard. I get in planes, I get in vans, sometimes I drive around in cars by myself. I go around and I sing these songs for people, and sometimes I tell stories, sometimes I quack for as much as 10 minutes in between the songs before I even play a fucking note. It is not because I'm cute, wit, smart, or funny. It's not even because I'm good looking or think I'm better than anyone. It's just a mere distraction from how untalented I am on this here guitar that I'm holding. Are you guys with me so far? I'm glad to hear that too. So these people to the left, up to the right of and behind me, they get in the vans and they get in those cars, and sometimes they even fly with me too. And I'm going to introduce them to you. We are what we call the greater good. To my right, your left, on the bass guitar of Onsville, Oregon, Mr. Nicholas Elliott. To my left, your right, of Mulino, Oregon, on the Hammond organ, the Rhodes keyboard, the clavinet, the grand piano, Mr. McKay Everhart. Standing behind me, we have the same first name, but not the same last name or middle name. His name is Elijah David Tejon on the drums. If you did not hear me the first time, I'm Eli. I'm from right here in Mulino, Oregon. This next song is called Wildfire. It's about when the year of 2020, we had this big string of wildfires. I'm sure a lot of you remember or were affected by them, but if you don't remember it, I got a call at about 2 a.m. one morning, and someone said to me, hey, there's a fire coming right towards your parents' house. You might want to go check on them. So I got in my car and I drove down Wilhoit Road, and every time I got to the top of these rolling hills, I could see the tree lawn on fire. And I had no idea the condition of my parents or their home because the power was out and they wouldn't answer their phone. And I get there and my dad's standing out in the driveway watching this fire creep towards his house. I was 31 years old at the time. My dad was in his mid-60s, and I was looking for the adult in the room, which was my dad. For the first time in my life, he did not have the answers of what we were supposed to do. Luckily, my parents got to keep their house. The fire was extinguished before it made their way to their house, but when I got evacuated from my home, I started writing this song. It's called Wildfire. I hope you enjoy it. And I'd like to apologize that for the next 2 hours, I am what you have to look at. There I stood in the middle of it all. Watched those flames get higher and higher. Smoke rises and burning while the ashes fall. The sky fire. You're breaking down the hillside. You run all that you can hide. Fire on the mountain, smoke in the air. They got a hope and they got a prayer. Going for everything that you own. Wildfire, screaming in my home. Not much you can do or say when you can't tell the night from day. Midnight surrounds me. Seconds lost at any cost. Burn the bridges before they're crossed. Hope the rain surrounds me. I can hear you creeping down the hillside. Run all that you can hide. Fire on the do that, 90% of the time I don't have any fucking shoes on. My first opinion of the night is that this upcoming guitar riff is the coolest fucking guitar riff of all time.
Can't sing. Some people don't like my songs. They say they don't like my voice, but I think they got me all wrong. 'Cause you can get right or you can get left, and I'll be long gone, and I'll get right every day and every night. And I'll pray that Jesus any place and any time, and I won't take nothing.
can really tell we've been practicing. Wardrobe change for Nick.
It's hot. I'll do it too. Standing in solidarity.
Tip jar's about to go nuts. I got someone at home. She don't know what's been going on. Thinks I love her and her alone. And the pressure is on. fact that I have an album out today. I'm sure a lot of you in this crowd have never recorded an album, so I'm going to give you a breakdown of what happens. It's going to lead into the story for this next song. So I worked with what's called a producer. And what a producer is you admire this guy that's just smarter than you for a living. And that's it. You pay him money to have better ideas than you. So I show him my songs, and me and Eli back here, we flew down to Dallas, Texas, over Valentine's Day of 2021. We were there for a week, and I said we're gonna work on these songs. I'm gonna come in with 10 maybe mediocre to shitty songs, and you're gonna make them slightly better. And what happened was I always have this problem is every time I leave the house, I'm thinking like, well, it's warm inside, how cold could it be outside? And so I went to Dallas, Texas, and thought, well shit, we're pretty close to Mexico, how cold could it be? 0 fucking degrees. That's how cold. I was in Texas in the middle of the worst winter storm that they'd had in 40 years, and I got stuck there, and we missed our flights. I was not supposed to be in Texas anyways. I lied to my work that I was there, as did Eli, because we work at the same place. I got a lot of coworkers here tonight. You guys shut your mouths. If I get called in the office Monday, I know who to talk to. So then what happened was Eli flew his girlfriend Emily down, and I was the only one there without their significant other there. And I've come to find out that I'm a bit of a tight ass. Sometimes I can be not too fun to be around. I've never done all these fun activities and stuff like that. So the power went out, and we missed our flights, and we were stuck there. We knew we were stuck in a snowstorm. We just had to accept it. And everyone was there with their girlfriends, and they all played board games, and they drank wine, and they went through all of it. And finally, I was laying on the couch all by myself, not one to drink wine because I don't drink, and I don't play board games because my dad told me it was stupid growing up. Finally, Eli stood over me, 31 years old, and he said, "Eli, quit being such a bitch and play games with us." I think Eli Tejon deserves a standing O for that one. So that's what we did. We played board games, and they drank wine, and we laughed, and we had all this fun. And then I finally made it home, and I remember we dropped everybody off, and we were on our way home. I'll never forget, we were going through Oregon City, and I told my girlfriend Emily, I said, "You'd have been proud of me. I played board games over the weekend." She went, A couple days later, we got into a horrible fight, and this big moment that I was really proud of, she said to me, "Well, while you were over in Texas playing board games and guitars, I was covering everyone's shifts, working double duty, so fuck you." And my dad told me years ago, that mouth of yours, Eli, is going to get you in trouble. And here's a prime example. I said back to her, "Well, I worked 6 and 7 days a week and sold off a bunch of my gear so I could afford that trip to Texas to go play board games and guitars, so fuck you too." Anyone got any guesses on how that went over? She did not say, "You know what, you're right." So later on, I thought about it, and I come to the realization when you're in an argument with someone, or a fight, or whatever you want to call it, it's always best to be of the mindset that it's not about who's right or wrong, it's about understanding the other person's point of view. And it all came to fruition almost a year later. I showed Emily this song, told her the story behind it, and I swear to God, she said, "I don't even remember what the fight was about, I just remember us both being mad." And I try to keep that present in mind every time I get pissed off. A year later, how fucking important was it? was really ironic, but I'm not surprised that all my bandmates' parents are here but mine. And that's what I mean by everyone that supports what I'm doing is here. Because me and my dad have this really cool relationship where I play music and he thinks it's stupid. Hey, it's cool. I live with it, and he's a never-ending source of inspiration. And a fine example of that is this next song. So years ago, I used to play in this band called Brass Tacks. I'm sure you guys have seen me with that before. That was back when I just stood on one side of the stage and didn't do much. I didn't sing. I didn't tell stories. And we went all the way over to the East Coast. We're in South Carolina. And I was really proud of myself because I do a lot of reading about what bands did before they blew up or whatever. And we were doing all those things. We were drunk, broke, sleeping on couches, borrowing gear. We had it all. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the moment Dad's finally going to say, you know what, son? I'm proud of you. And he called me up one day when I'm sitting there waiting for our show in South Carolina. He says, what are you doing? I said, I'm playing in Greenville, South Carolina tonight. I'm at this place called the Pump House. And he goes, wow, Greenville, South Carolina. I'm thinking any fucking minute now, here it comes. Here it comes. And he goes, wow, that is a long way from home. I said, I know. Come on, Dad, come with it. And he goes, wouldn't that be a shame if nobody showed up? And to this day, I guarantee you at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, my dad is going to call me up and he's going to say a couple things. First thing he's going to say is, how'd the show go? And before I can answer it, he's going to say, no one showed up, did they? And then he is going to say, did you sell any tapes? So if any of you guys want to come over to our merch booth when we're done and buy a tape from me, my dad would really appreciate it. And after I hung up with my dad on that particular call, I said to myself, there is nothing like a phone call from home to make me feel right at home. Well, she said, I miss you. I miss me too. Said, when you coming back home? Do you even want to? Mom said you could use a little sleep. See the bags under your eyes. They say they're starting to worry about me, but I say that's a lie. Sleeping on my buddy's couch and I'm all alone. There ain't nothing like a book on the phone. Like you had another birthday, another year's gone by. Brother, he's got a real job, yeah, son. I heard he's doing alright. An empty seat every Sunday. Wondered where the hell you've been. All the late nights in the park lights, son. You'll be lucky if they let you in. Can't raise a family from the telephone. There ain't nothing like a phone call phone. It's heavy on my mind everywhere that I roam. Sometimes it's these phone calls from home that's keeping me from home. humongous family. I got like 90-something cousins. And we always have Christmas at the same place. And every time I walk in there, it is very apparent that I am the family disappointment. And it even drives the point home even further that when I get to that house, the person that owns that house texts me every year on my birthday or on Facebook and spells my fucking first name wrong. I've been her nephew for 33 years now, and she spells my name E-L-Y. You cannot pick your family, but you can most certainly pick your friends. Decided to start a family and be a farmer because that's what his family did. And he said to me, Eli, you should put this on your album. And this song is about when Dave Dickey was like 18 or 19 years old, and he was personally asked by Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon to leave and never come back. And I was on a pathway for destruction. I might have reminded Dave of a younger version of himself when I was around that same age, and he told me, Eli, it's time I retired this song and you started singing it. And the first album that I ever played guitar on was an album that Dave paid for, funded, and put together, and he said, Eli, I know this is my album, but you're singing this song. Because that's what kind of guy Dave Dickey is. Woo! When me and Eli back here were a lot younger, I guess it's even weird that we can even say that. He would, on nice hot summer nights, we'd sit out on Dave's porch and he would pull out, he has the biggest record collection I've ever seen, and we'd sit there and drink beer and we'd listen to records and laugh, and we'd let Dave tell us stories, and we would drink until there was absolutely nothing left in his house with alcohol content in it. And I will cherish those times with that friend of mine for the rest of my life. Dave Dickey may be 40 some years older than me, but that does not stop him from being one of the best friends that I've ever had. And one piece of advice Dave Dickey gave me outside of playing music was something I applied to everything I do, especially playing music. He told me one time when we were driving down the road, he says, "I've been married more years of my life than I haven't. It's tough every year, but if you love something, it's easier to stick it out and work on it than it is to give up." And I've applied that to anything in my life that I'm passionate about. Thanks to that man. Here we go. Went and seen some friends, hadn't seen for 2 years. Sitting in the kitchen, drinking homemade beer. Weren't you gonna go home tonight? Well, I guess I was. That's alright, there's tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Say tomorrow's got me on the run, but you know that tomorrow it never comes as tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Getting low on money, getting low on self-control. I spent my last dollar on that poison alcohol. Wasn't that little due today? Well, I guess it was, but what can I say? There's tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Say tomorrow's got me on the run, but you know that tomorrow it never comes as tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. You guys having fun so far? I take a lot of pride in the fact that I get to play with such distinguished men, amazing musicians, and this is one of my favorite parts of the set. I'm going to show you exactly why I call my band the Greater Good. Please, drive the car for a minute, fellas. I'm gonna let them step off for a second, say hello to people if they want, go use the bathroom, grab another beer. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep playing a couple songs and then they're gonna get back up here and we're gonna finish the night out. It's gonna be wonderful, I promise. But before they step off stage, please give these dudes a round of applause. You guys have been absolutely outstanding. I'm going to start this next interval of the set with another story, if you believe it or not. Don't fuck up. No promises, man, no promises. So the longest lasting friendship I've ever had in my life is in here in the house with me tonight, and that is my little brother, Jesse Howard. One day he came over to my house when I was on my lunch break, and he said to me, he pulled out a box with some jewelry in it, and he said, "Eli, I bought this," and it was a ring. And I'm not claiming to be the smartest guy, and I asked him, "Is that for Mom?" And he said, "No, you dumbass, I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend, Marissa." And he said, "I got an idea. I'll tell you what." He says, "I want you to break into my house." And he says, "We're gonna show up there, we'll be gone, I want you to break in, I want you to play a song for us, and at the end of the song, I'm gonna get down on one knee and ask her to marry me. And if all goes according to plan, we'll be husband and wife before you know it." I said, "That sounds great. I'd love to break into your house and play guitar, especially with permission." He said, "Cool, you got 2 months." So I waited 1 month and like 30 days. And I decided I better start getting a plan together. So I decided to write this song. I started racking my brain of all the cool shit me and him had done together. And I remember, I'm 3 years older than him, and I clearly remember the day I walked into the hospital not knowing, I wasn't mentally capable at the point to realize that this guy is my brother and my mom just had a kid. I was more pissed off that he had a blanket that looked like mine. And I remember when he started taking his first steps and my mom ran to the phone and called her sister. I remember him walking through the kitchen. I remember when he bought his first car and then he had it towed over to me because the starter broke. And I remember a whole bunch of other shit I'm not going to tell you guys about. But so I started racking my memory of all the cool stuff I got to do with him. And then I wrote this next song for him, and I played it for him. I broke into their house just like he asked me to. I played the song. He got down on one knee, said, "Will you marry me?" She said yes, and now they're happily married with 2 kids, all because of this song I wrote. It was somewhere on the Oregon border in the spring of '92. April morning, first met my brother. Nurses brought him in the room. Said, "Daddy, what's his name? I don't recognize that face." My dad, he told me, "Son, he's gonna be your brother. He's gonna be your friend. When you're down, you'll have an ear to lend. And you may not know it now, but that boy's your best friend." I was there when he took his first steps. I was there when he finished school. I was there when he bought his first car. I was there when he broke it too. Then one day, turn around, he's falling in love and he's buying a house. Where's that boy I used to know? He's my brother, he's my friend. When I'm down, he's got an ear to lend. and I know it well by now. That was my best friend. 'Cause we fight and stayed up all night. We did some things that just weren't right. Now it's time to let him go. 'Cause the diamond is forever, and when he puts one on your hand, no, you won't tell him no. 'Cause he's your lover, he's your friend. When you're down, he's got an ear to lend. And I'm sure you know by now that boy's your best friend. I hope this song makes up for how drunk I got at your wedding, Jesse. I still don't forgive you for cutting me off, though. I think every musician has like an it moment for them, or at least, I mean, anything in life that you're passionate about, you have this moment where everything goes, where everything clicks for you. And the one time for me was when I was in my late 20s. I did a show opening for this guy named Kay Phillips, and I played the absolute worst show of my life. And he went on to play probably one of the most life-changing shows that I'd ever seen. I know a lot of you guys have probably never heard his music, but I'll never forget the way he conducted himself on stage. The way he played a full set. He could have walked off stage and said, "I'm done, my work here's through, I fulfilled my contract." But instead, he said, "I'll be right back," and he went out to his van and he grabbed 2 keyboards and he played them for another hour and a half. He did 2 full sets that night, no breaks, never repeated a song. And I was only going to stay for one song, I stayed for the whole fucking thing. And I thought the dude hated my guts, and he probably, I could have sworn at one point he laughed at me because I played so damn bad, so I never paid much attention to him until like 7 years later. He finds me on Instagram and he says, "Hey dude, I remember you, you were great." And I thought, man, I spent the last 7 years thinking you were a dick. But I was polite and I said, "Thanks man, you were too." And I figured, man, maybe I should go check this dude's music out again. And I realized that this dude is probably the best songwriter around right now, and it is a crying shame that more people don't know about him. And any chance that I get, I love to share his music with people, and tonight is no exception. This song is probably my favorite song by him. It's called Hadrian. He gave me permission to play this song too. I asked him. He ain't a dick. Hadrian built a temple. Alexander wept. I took your class, honey. Maybe I slept. And the Taj Mahal was a late gift for the one the king loved best. Never saw it coming. You know the rest. Come on, honey, show me a spark. This is the easy part. Russia. Napoleon had Josephine. Then there's you. We got bills to pay, and I owe your parents money. I still got a line for you. You still think I'm funny? Come on, honey, show me a spark. This is the easy part. I don't think any truer lines have been written as this right here. Men become monuments. History repeats history. None of it could save them. None of it'll save me. Come on, honey, show me a spark. This is the easy part. Come on, honey, show me a spark. This is the easy part. Do one more and I'm going to get my band back up here if that's cool with you guys. I always tell people, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit later on in the set, that if we had a perfect world, if I lived in a world where I had no issues or problems, there would be two things we would still have, and that is Tom Petty and John Prine. And I stick with that, and I believe that wholeheartedly, and this is the part of the set where I have to decide for myself, am I going to play a Tom Petty song or a John Prine song? And I think tonight I'm going to do a John Prine song. I'm an old woman named after my mother. My old man is another child that's grown old. If dreams were lightning and thunder were desire, this old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living, it's just a hard way to go. I was a young girl, well, I had me a cowboy. You weren't much to look at, just a free rambling man. But that was a long time, no matter how I tried. Well, the years they just flow by like a broken down dam. Make me an angel flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living, it's just a hard way to go. kitchen. I can hear them, they're buzzing, but I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. Tell me, how can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening, have nothing to say? Make me an angel, flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Every time I hear this song, it always hits me at the right time. I learned this next song when I was like 14, 15 years old, and it seems like every time it comes back into my life, it was like right at the perfect time, whether it's, I turn on the TV, usually regrettably, my biggest fucking bitch is that how much a gallon of gas costs, and then I turn on the TV and see what's going on over on the other side of the world, and I realize my problems aren't that big. This song in particular holds a lot of weight in my heart, and I'm glad to share it with you guys. I wish I'd have wrote it, but oh well, here we go. I'm a one-way motorway. I'm a road that drives away, follows you back home. I'm a street light shining. I'm a white light blinding bright, burning off and on. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky to hang stars upon tonight. I'm a little divided. Do I stay or run away? Leave it all behind. It's times like these learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. month they send you a pamphlet in the mail and you send it off. And every 4 years I see you people on the internet talking shit to each other because of what gang you do or do not represent, and my God does it make me sick. So this year in particular, around the time of this stupid ass popularity contest between two fucking dumbasses that I'm never gonna meet and have no idea who I am, I turned the Facebook app off on my phone because I got sick of watching two adults that have never met talk shit to each other about what a bad person they are when they've never met, when probably if they sat down they'd realize that they have more in common with each other than they even realize. I mean, let's get one thing, they share the common ground that they've never met, they're adults and they're talking shit to each other on the screen of their phone. And I've come to the realization that who you vote for or do not vote for is not what makes you a good or bad person. Being a good or bad person is what makes you a good or bad person. I would appreciate it if some of you people would just leave it in the fucking booth. This song is called Bad News and is about how I think people in the media or whatever you want to call it are there to keep us pissed off at each other rather than to tell us the hard-hitting facts. all the jacks are in their boxes, and the clowns have all gone to bed. You can hear happiness standing on downstream, footsteps dressed in red. The door and you pray it won't last. When it's sturdy enough to feel safe within, the wall gives away and the roof caves in. Sometimes it's hard to carry. Don't know what I'd rather do, but all that don't mean nothing. Terrible, aren't they? Dad, the guy that recorded my album, is here tonight. And other than the fact that I'm grateful he engineered it, this next riff ate up so much of his time, and I know it is. I'm so sorry, John. But he demanded that I played it, and if you see John and you see some gray hairs, I'm sorry. I caused a lot of them on this next riff. I know it sounds dumb, especially after you hear how simple it is. I'm not saying I'm a professional, but here it goes. I need complete silence for this next part of the song. Play a new one for you guys. My dad had this really weird way of giving us life lessons. By us, I mean me and my two brothers. He only had boys, and he always gave us this really weird life advice in the way that he never did. That's how he gave life advice. He just didn't. And he didn't tell me till I was well into my 30s. In fact, it was just like 2 months ago. He said, "Yeah, I just always kind of just like sitting back and watching you guys hang yourselves." I said, "Thanks, Dad." But what he would do is he would throw like these little one-liners out, and they really made you think, and they were really, most of the time they never made any damn sense. I think my little brother could probably attest to this. And then about the time you did hang yourself, he'd go, "Oh, I told you." And so I decided to write a song of all the one-liners my dad gave me. This song is called "Ask Me How I Know." Ask me how I know. Anyone can stay mad, better to get along. You can't forgive a man, you're no better than who did you wrong. It ain't worth having if you didn't earn it on your own. Go ahead and ask me how I know. Hard work makes a man stand out. couple months ago, I took my girlfriend to the beach in November. It was a really fun time. The only reason I remember that is because before I left work early, I picked up my phone and I said something on social media. I wrote, "In a perfect world, we'd still have two people, and that's Tom Petty and John Prine." And when I got back home and looked at my phone again, I saw that over 100 people had agreed with that statement. And so I said, "I hate to do this to you, but we can't leave for the beach just yet. I gotta write this song." So I wrote the first 2 verses to this song, and I said, "Man, I think I wrote a country song." So I texted my friend Jesse Dane Milburn from the band, Jesse Dane and the Sagebrush Drifters, and I said, "Jesse, I think I wrote a country song." I figured he would give me some insight because he's in a country band, and I most certainly am not in a country band. And when I texted that to him, he said, "What the fuck's that even mean?" I said, "Well, okay, maybe I didn't." So I just, instead of trying to argue with him, I just sent him the song. It was about 4 minutes worth of me playing the song, and about 5 minutes later, I got a text back, and it just said, "Fuck you." And immediately after, there's a text that showed up right after that, and it said, "In the best way possible, man." That's pretty good. So I figured I was onto something, and so I started writing this next song. This song is my idea of a perfect world, because not only do I feel like we still should have Tom Petty and John Prine, if there's 2 words I hate hearing back to back, it is the words homeless veteran. And so I wrote this song about my hatred for that. This song's called "In a Perfect World." This is my idea of a utopia. In a perfect world, I never have to go to work. They never look at me when I step foot in a church. I never need a clock, 'cause I'd always be on time. We'd still have Tom Petty and John Prine, and you would still be mine. If I had it my way, kids would have shoes on their feet. No one would be homeless. When they came back from the Middle East, we'd still have Dwayne and Greg. Like back in 1969, playing Black-Hearted Woman, whipping hose to blue sky. Duo shows together, and one time I took McKay out on a weeknight thinking we were going to have this great show. I said, "Me and you are going to go, we're going to sing harmonies, you're going to play keyboards, I'm going to do leads, and people are just going to fucking eat it up." So we went and did this show, and people talked the entire time. It was the exact opposite of how respectful you guys have been to us. I mean, we might as well have been playing polka music. They could not have cared any less, and when we stopped, no one even noticed. I felt so bad that I drug McKay out on a Thursday night that I just gave him all the money. And I said, "Sorry I did that to you." I felt like I'd stolen something from him. So I realized that I didn't have a third verse to this song, and I went home after that horrible gig that I had with McKay, and I'm still sorry that I did that to you, McKay. And I wrote the third verse of this song. In a perfect world, I'd be on stage They wouldn't talk when I sang. My bank account would never run dry. You'd call me up and say, let's give this one more try. You'd waltz back in my life like it was 3/4 time. Like I said, in a perfect world, we would still have Mr. Tom Petty. Oh, Nick's gonna tune that guitar real quick. That bass guitar. How dare you?
Tune. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I want back guitar for about 20 years, and I've never fronted a band until almost a year ago to the day. I did my first solo show here on February 27th of last year. It was the first time I ever decided to branch out, but I knew ahead of that I was going to record an album, and when I never really taken songwriting seriously because all I had to do was just sit back and play guitar and let the lead singer take care of it. But now I'm the lead singer, so I had to take care of that. So I made a deal with myself that I was not going to ignore any type of inspiration or ideas because that was the only way songs were going to get written. And so I had this idea for a song, and I thought, man, that is a neat chord progression. That's cooler than anything I've ever written. And I thought, man, if I could just get some lyrics to that, I think I would be a millionaire. And the chord progression, if these guys would please play it along with me, went something like this. No lyrics though. So, pretty sensitive piece though, right? So, one Wednesday afternoon, my good friend behind me with the same first name, Elijah David Tejon, he sends me a text message on my phone. He says, Eli, I think I'm going to come over Saturday night and I'm going to bring some psychedelic mushrooms with me. Yeah. And I said, that sounds great. Let's do that. It's a date. I said, I'll make you a ribeye. You bring the mushrooms. We'll eat them. So he brings over a sizable amount, not a lot, but it was enough. And we ate the ribeyes just like planned. And I'm figuring the whole time, he doesn't know this, but he says he's going to bring these over. I'm thinking, shit, I'll just slip back to my back room, eat these mushrooms. I'm going to be the most creative SOB alive. I already got this chord progression. All I got to do is write some lyrics and we'll go back to hanging out. So Saturday comes, I eat the mushrooms, and about 45 minutes later, it's very, very apparent that I won't be writing any lyrics to any songs that night. But that does not mean the evening went to waste. We decided to watch the movie Avatar, which was lovely. I have a lab collie that we took for a walk. I remember I want to say it was November 21st, and we went out walking, looking for Christmas lights, which we had found. And we went back and I started watching the movie Avatar again, and I got right at the point of the night where I think they call that peaking, where your night can really start taking a turn for the worse. And my night really started taking a turn for the worse. This big battle scene was breaking out. I'm straight up not having a good time, and I'm really feeling down about myself because my goal was to just eat these mushrooms and write a song, not figure out the meaning of my whole life while watching Avatar. But that's what was happening. And so I'm along for the ride, and the whole time I'm thinking, man, if your parents find out what a shithead you are. The whole time I'm thinking, man, if your dad could see your ass right now, he would hate your guts. And I'm laying up there in the ceiling thinking about everything. What a piece of shit I am. And I thought, man, all I wanted to do was write a goddamn song, and it hit me. Eli, you are not a work in progress. You are simply a piece of work. And so I wrote the lyrics to this next song.
scrape the bottom of the barrel, and then I'll come back for more. I'm always on the hunt for another cheap thrill. I should probably quit, but I don't think I will. Lead a horse to water, but you can't squeeze blood from stone. So you best not even bother. Rock bottom's where I come home. And I'm gonna leave you crying. Probably gonna leave you hurt. I ain't a work in progress. I'm a piece of work. I'd like to introduce the band to you guys, if that's cool. How about it on the man to my right, on the bass guitar, Mr. Nicholas Elliott. On the Hammond organ and the Nord keyboard, Mr. McKay Everhart. How about it for the man behind me on the drums, Mr. Eli Tejon. My name is Eli Howard, and I'm not a work in progress. I'm just a piece of work. Last week we played in Homedale, Idaho, and right before I kicked in this song, this drunk asshole asked me to play White Girl Bummer. And so this song will ever hold a place in my heart. And wherever you are, you inbred son of a bitch, I hope you're having a good evening. And I'm gonna leave you crying. I'm probably gonna leave you hurt. I ain't a work in progress. I'm a piece of work. And I'm gonna leave you crying. Probably gonna leave you hurt. I ain't a work in progress. I'm a piece of work. Oh!
took psychedelic mushrooms with Eli Tejon and wrote a song that almost didn't make my record. So while I might take psychedelic mushrooms every now and then, let me tell you another story on the other side of that coin. When I was 18 years old, the night before I graduated high school, I had my first mixed drink that I remember, and I started chasing down that feeling for the next 10 years. I got drunk and I stayed drunk till I was like 28 years old, almost 29. And then the morning of January 7th, 2018, I woke up after getting blackout drunk and I was disappointed in myself. I was embarrassed. I hit every bar in town. I went around and I think I double booked my band for every show that I booked that night, which was a lot, and I pissed off a lot of people, and I just got sick of waking up wondering who I needed to apologize to, so I dumped out any alcohol in the house that was mine, and I'm proud to say that I'm 4 years and some change without a drink. A man that's in the crowd tonight told me something, and I'm not going to say his name, but I remember he said something to me that I never forgot. He said, "Eli, if you can count the days of how long it's been since you had a drink, maybe it had a little bit more of a hold of you than you thought it did." And for almost 3 years, I could tell you at any point in time exactly how long it'd been since I'd had a drink, till one day I realized I was too busy living my life, and I didn't know how many days it was, and that's when I felt like I finally won. And the day that I hit 3 years without a drink, I went into my back room where I write songs and play guitar, and I wrote this next song. The song's called "See Me Now." You came walking in. You probably wouldn't recognize me now like you didn't back then. You left without warning as I poured you down the drain. Hardest part is the morning, trying to ease the pain. Sometimes I think about you, if I'm better off without you. Oh, but I doubt you could ever see me now. It's cold here in the winter. Summer hardly sees a drop of rain.
just who it is to blame. People say I got my dad's eye. It's probably why I couldn't see. There's something about him that he didn't like in me. Sometimes I think about you. If I'm better off without you. Oh, but I doubt you. One, two, three, four. Hardly ever think about you, 'cause I'm better off without you. Oh, but I doubt you. Couldn't see that. See me now. Can we do that part one more time? Can we drop that one more time on you guys?
Yeah.
'Cause I know it's Nick's favorite part of the set.
running sound for us. What a badass. If you've ever seen him play guitar, you know that what he's doing right now is way, way outside his pay grade. You deserved better tonight, Timmy. You guys get situated. I've had a wonderful time tonight. I did not know that a little over a year ago when I decided I was going to start making an album that I'd be standing here selling this place out in front of all you guys. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Love you guys. You guys, as soon as we're done, we'll be over there selling tapes. My dad would love it if you bought one from us. Also, if you've never seen us before, I always tell people if there's a supporter of mine, that means there's a supporter I want to meet. So if you guys don't want to buy anything, I'll be right over there anyways. Come shake you guys' hand. Let's end this set out right. Blew up the chicken man in Philly last night. They blew up his house too. They're ready for a fight. Gonna see what them racket boys can do. There's trouble busting in from out of state. The DA can't get no relief. Gonna be a rumble on the promenade. And the gambling commissioner's hanging on by the skin of his seat. Everything dies, baby. This next dude came in on like 3 days notice for a show. He walked into my house with a bass guitar in one hand and a set list in the other, with a bunch of really hard to read notes next to all the songs.
My handwriting's not good.
Horrible handwriting. Nice guy, shitty handwriting.
It's not good.
He sat down with me for about 2 hours, practiced all the songs with me, and when he won my heart over, it was before he put his bass back in his case. He said, "If you got time, I'll do this with you tomorrow, so you're prepared." I knew right then I had a badass on my hands. He showed up the next day, did the same thing, showed up for the show, absolutely tore it down. And when I knew he had ultimately won my heart over was after the show the next morning, walking out of the hotel room. We had different rooms, and I see him. He walks up to the band wearing a Cyndi Lauper shirt that said, "Girls just want to have fun." And I said, "You know what, dude? You're not the villain. You're my man." Please put your hands together for on the bass guitar, Mr. Nicholas Elliott.